Which war did you serve?
Korean War from December 13, 1950 to December 12, 1952.
And what was your branch of service?
Army in Amphibious Truck Company.
Okay. And what was your highest rank?
PFC, Private First Class.
Okay. Now, starting with your basic training, can you just kind of tell me the different locations you went? You don't have to go into details yet. We'll get into that. Just tell me the different places that you served while you were in the Army.
Well, I got inducted at 500 Capitol Avenue in Hartford. From there, I went to Fort in Massachusetts, Fort Devon, Mass, and from there went to Fort Eustis, Virginia. That's where I done my basic training. And to me, the basic training was like picnic, really, because I started off as a lumberjack. So, being in the Army, you had good food, clean sheets, and a clean barrack. And so I took my basic training in Fort Eustis, Virginia. And from there, I went to Fort Story, just outside of Virginia Beach. I went into a stevedore outfit.
Excuse me, what was that?
Stevedore, loading and unloading ships.
Okay, it's stevedore.
So, yeah, the name of it is stevedore. You load and unload ship. You work on the dock, and went that for a bit, and then got transferred into an amphibious truck company in Fort Story, Virginia, just outside of Virginia Beach. And then there for a while in June, I think. I was in an amphibious truck, 489 amphibious truck company. We went to Thule, Greenland. To unload the material to build Thule Air Base. And July 4th, we were stuck in an ice field in the Baffin Bay waiting for icebreaker to get us through. And in 51, we lived aboard ship, and we traveled from trip to shore with a smaller ship. And if the fog came in, that meant that the iceberg were breaking off. If you were on land, you stayed on land up until the fog disappeared. And came back from there, I think, in late September, because Thule is the land of the midnight sun. During the summer, it's just as clear at 12 o'clock at night there is at 12 o'clock noon.
Really?
And in the winter, that's the other way around. And came back to Fort Story because that was my home base. And in 52, beginning of June, went back. We got married May 12, 1952. And then June 9, went back overseas.
Wow.
And came back at the end of September, and I was discharged December 12, 52.
Okay.
And my experience in the service, because I didn't go to combat, but my experience in the service was, I liked it. When I came out, I had a very hard time to get reaccustomed to civilian life. Changed. I know there was plenty of work here in Connecticut. We lived in Hartford, and I changed job many, many times. And
What I would like to do, Joseph, is I'd like to stop to there, and I want to go back and start with some questions about when you joined, and we'll kind of cover each of those different locations in a little bit more detail.
okay,
Okay, and then we'll talk about after, because I want to hear after you got out.
yeah, okay.
Okay, so let's go back. When you joined,
I was drafted.
you were drafted. Okay.
Yeah.
And how did you feel about that, or how did your parents feel about that, being drafted?
My parents were in Canada.
They were in you were in the States at the time you were drafted.
Yeah, and because I was born in Canada, but I'm an American citizen from birth because of my dad, and so I was, I think, 22 when I went in the service.
Okay. And where were you living?
In Hartford.
You were living in Hartford.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then I got inducted 3 days after my birthday.
Yeah.
That was quite a birthday present.
So from there you went to your basic training,
Yeah.
and you said that was
For
a
you,
cakewalk for you.
excuse me?
You said that was easy. That was a cakewalk for you. It was easy.
Oh, yeah.
You were a logger. Is that what you said before?
Yeah. And I've slept outside many times in lumbering. And out there, at least we had a pup tent and some blankets, and it didn't bother me. Not that I was tough or nothing, but I thought it was pretty easy.
Yeah.
I had quite an experience when we went on bivouac. I was with this guy from Massachusetts, Roger Peliquin. And we went up, that was in Fort Yusuf, Virginia, but we went up in the hills. And I told to, not Roger, was Chuck. And I said, have you ever slept outside? And he said, no. Well, I said, we were in the pines. So I took, we had each a poncho, put the poncho on the ground, cut some small pine limbs to make a mattress. We put another poncho over the small limb, and then we each had 2 blankets. We put a blanket over it. The next morning, it was 4 inches of snow. And we came out of our pup tent, we each had a half shelter. The sergeant said, what the hell did you have in there? We come out of there, the steam was, and I showed him. He said, I'd be damned. He said, I've been in the service many years and I've never seen that. I said, but you never slept outside when I was in the lumber. Before we built the camps, all we had was a tar paper lean-to, and he couldn't believe it that, But to me, that the Army was really because I didn't go to combat. That would have been, I'm sure, it would have been a different situation, foxholes, and and I feel that I was pretty lucky.
Well, what did your basic training consist of? I mean, how did you spend your time? What training were you doing?
A lot of physical training, uh, fire range, tear gas experience, and then a lot of drill, marching. A lot of physical, exercise, and but to me that was not too bad, and
Do you recall any of your drill sergeants particularly, or
no, they were pretty good. Yeah, they were. My outfit was National Guard outfit from Pensacola, Florida, and that I was in, and so they were all family people, and a bunch of good people, and of course most of my outfit were people from Massachusetts, New York, upstate New York, uh, Brooklyn, not of Brooklyn, because when we work, when I was in the stevedore outfit, a lot of these people, they were mostly Italian. They were all from, from Brooklyn, from the dock area, and so we got along pretty good, and Dick's.
when you left basic training, did a bunch of your guys go together to your next duty station? Was it just did you go alone?
Where is that? Thule?
When you left basic, you went to I think to Thule, right?
No, we went from Fort Eustis, went to Fort Story,
Fort Story.
and a bunch of the guys that some of them went to Germany. A lot of them. I was a supernumerary to go to Germany, but I didn't go. I went to extensive training, night training, crawling in the mud, and with live firing over your head, and like it would have been Korea, I guess, or any battlefield, and most of the people that went to Korea, most of them came back. Some of them didn't, but most of them came back when I saw a lot of them when we got discharged. I got discharged. I had to go back to Fort Eustis to be discharged. That was in 1992, and but in Fort Story it was pretty nice. We're so close to Virginia Beach. Not that I went to the beach a lot, but if you wanted to, you could, and so close that lot of the guys used to walk to the beach, from the base, and and the weather was nice, and I got along very good with the guys, and and
What was your when you got to your first duty assignment as a truck driver? What was your daily routine like?
we train on the beach. We were on the Chesapeake Bay. Then we trained at night, and the Chesapeake is a very, very tough. The undercurrent is very bad, and we done a lot of blackout training, and you had to get in your LST. All you had was barn doors with cables, and you were not supposed to hit the cable, because if you did, you went overboard. And I was lucky I never did. And
But I didn't understand that. But
we had to train at night
right,
on the Chesapeake Bay,
right,
because we were going. We didn't know, but we were going to Thule, Greenland, which is rough out there. When the fog comes in,
right.
if you're in the water, you better get your butt out of there as soon as possible, because we at Chesapeake Bay at the night training, all you had, you had your combat, like just little line on the lights, and then on the beach, all you had a couple lantern on the two posts, and in order to come back, you had to line those two lanterns together in order to come back. If you didn't, if they weren't together, you were off course.
Sure.
That was the only thing that you had to come, to come back to the beach. And
That was pretty challenging.
it was,
Yeah.
it was, and because if you didn't, those ducks were only 2.5-ton trucks. They were like bottles in the ocean. Today, they're 15, 20-ton ducks.
Right.
God, the wheels are as high as the ceiling, and and the one we had were 2.5-ton trucks.
How many people would be on there?
2.
Just 2?
Yep. When we were in operation, yeah. Sometimes just 1.
What was their purpose? I mean, what were they used for?
To pick up stuff from the ship to bring it on land.
Oh, so they weren't troop transports; they were equipment transports.
That's right. Yeah, they were. I suppose they could have been used for troops also. Everybody would be standing up. There were only seats for 2 people.
So it had 2 operators.
Yeah, and a lot of times there was only one person as the the operator, and you pull next to the ship. They had people loading up the ducks, and then you come back ashore, get unloaded, and go back, and because all the material to build Thule, that's how it was unloaded, to as far as I know, and there was a big outfit there from Meriden, the Lane Construction Company. They when they built the lowering air base in Limestone, Maine, they were one of the big company there. They were all in Thule, And not that I knew anybody either place, but
It was a civilian construction company
yeah,
that built the air base,
yeah, a lot of civilian, yeah.
and you transported the material.
Yeah, we unloaded the and the weather was nice there in the summer. I really don't remember that it ever rained when we were there.
Really?
Either time. uh, when we first went there was this Eskimo village where we were off limit to us.
You weren't allowed to go near it, huh?
No, they used to come in small boat, get handout, but we weren't supposed to. Of course, a lot of the guy about the big ship used to throw them stuff. And 52, we stayed on land on Quonset huts. You know,
In Greenland.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. The first year we traveled from ship to shore, but that was quite an experience.
Yeah.
Yeah, I really did mind. It's
How many people were in your unit? How many people went to Greenland with you in your unit?
we were several. Thank you. We were several company. It's been so long. I've been.
That's okay. I understand. It was a company, though.
Well, like the 489. That was our company. There was the 3 something or 2 something, and there were several outfits.
Okay, so it wasn't just one unit. It was
Oh
several.
no! It's really there was a lot of people, and
So.
this will do it. Send a scar. So
So you came back from Greenland after your first tour?
yeah, in 51 came back to Greenland and stayed in Fort Story. And we just done exercise and and work on vehicles and most of the time when you were back at 4 Story, we just use land vehicles,
Right.
instead of ducks. Or, except when we were training on Chesapeake Bay, then we used because we had some pumps aboard, and those were from excuse me, what was left of World War II.
Oh, okay.
And in Fort Eustis, we opened up a lot of the barracks that were closed after World War II. A lot of it, I done carpenter work. The stairs were all rotted, and not that I was a carpenter, but being brought up on a farm, you and
Did what you needed to do.
yeah, because and straighten out the doors because they hadn't been used for quite a while, and and they still had coal furnaces,
Yeah.
and then everybody had fire duty.
Nighttime fire guard.
Yeah, and that was and then you pull guard, do the KP duty, parades. Mostly every weekend they were parades, because all around Norfolk and all that's all military. I don't know if you've ever been down there, but
It was then too?
Excuse me.
It was then in the early 50s. It was.
Oh yeah, it's been for years. Norfolk is one of the biggest seaport, military seaport, and I think the United States, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, they've got a big naval air station there, and the whole area is military.
So you went back to Greenland a second time,
Yeah,
and what was your mission pretty much the same the second time?
yeah, with ducks and unloading the material to build Thule, and it was quite an experience. Uh, and of course, there they was. See, Thule is on permafrost.
Yeah.
They had a lot of problem with the airfield, and when I first got there in '51, all they had were weather station. There was a small plane that I used to go to Gooseby, Labrador.
Gooseby?
Yeah, Gooseby, Labrador. We had a big base there, and some of them after that we were to come back. Me and some of my friend were left behind in Thule to. We had to drop some of the equipment in Goose Bay, and before we came back, and I think Goose Bay is still one of our stations. Not sure, but and of course, my first experience at sea when we left in the Nova Scotia coast, we had the biggest storm. I was on a big troop ship, and everybody was sick. And it was so bad that the ship, the stern would come out of the water, and you could hear those prop whine, and then when it would go back, there was a troop ship, I think they said something like 10,000 people, the General Hershey. And that was, after the storm, the water was just like a mirror.
Really?
Yeah. Oh, it was, everybody is sick, and it's, I don't know if you've ever been at sea.
Nope.
It's a terrible feeling when, your guts want to come out of your mouth. And, but that was the only time that I ever experienced seasickness.
Yeah.
And we've been to several cruises and never have.
Nothing like that, though.
No, oh, that was bad.
Say you were on the General Hershey?
Yeah. Yeah. And it was on the Nova Scotia coast, going to, it was bad. And matter of fact, we lost a guy from California company from seasickness.
He died as a result of this?
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, you get the dry heave, and it.
He had it really bad.
Yeah. They picked him up at Goose Bay, helicopter came and picked him up. He was from uh, California. He was from and but
So did you lose any of your ducks at any time?
no, we didn't. Not that I know of. You know, that we because who was in charge? They were because those people from Pensacola, they were all World War II people, and they were in the company, you know.
They knew what they were doing.
Yeah, they were. Yeah, nice bunch of people.
So after Greenland, after your second trip to Greenland, you came back and you came back to Fort Story again?
Yeah, came back to Fort Story at probably the middle of September,
Okay.
and then we just hung around parades,
Yeah.
pulled guard duty, KP, and
You went back to your cantonment duty, your regular.
yeah, because you know our time when we first went in, we're supposed to be for 18 months, but they extended it to 2 years.
Oh, really? How did you feel about that?
Nothing you could do about it. You know, I forget that I used to know who to change that in Washington. That they with the attitude that they had spent money training us, and you know, I mean the typical BS, you know, and but it.
Well, your day finally came. You remember the day that you got out of the service?
Yeah, December 12, 1952.
And what was that like?
Well, it was beautiful. Come and see my wife, you know. Because we got married May 12, June 9, I went overseas. And I brought her here. She came here as a war bride. And she couldn't speak English, so she couldn't get a job. And it's not like today, you know. And she lived in Hartford with my sister in an apartment.
Where did you meet her at?
Blind date.
Like,
Blind date back home.
oh, really?
Yep. My brother's, one of my brother's wedding. And my sister-in-law had made a blind date for me. And after that, it's history. May 12, we'd been married 62 years.
62 years.
Yeah. And
So you came back home to Hartford,
yeah,
and did you go to school, or did you go to work, or you had trouble finding work? Or?
I had to go to work. And I had a hard time to get readjusted to human life. If my wife could have spoke English, I think I would have stayed in the service.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I really, there was plenty of work. I changed in 6 months. I must have had 5 different jobs.
Really?
Yep. Yeah.
Just what was the difficulty? I mean, were you being let go, or did you just
Then,
didn't like what you were doing, so you moved on to something different, or?
yeah, there was no security, you know, there was, and then my buddy from South Windsor, one weekend we went to see his parents, and one of his family worked for the school department. And got to talking. He said, you know, you don't make much money, but you know, it's good security. At that time, I was driving truck in Hartford. So I stopped at West Hartford and at the office building and applied for a job. Every day I would stop. So the guy said, in order to get rid of you, I've got to hire you. I said, what the hell do you think I'm stopping here for, you know? Because the truck driving, you know, driving in Hartford, even then, it was terrible. A lot of it was sidewalk delivery, and the cops weren't too nice. And I got tickets, which you had to deliver a sidewalk delivery. Where else, you know?
Didn't like the parallel parking?
Yeah. But that was the only way that you could deliver your stuff. So I started in, I think, 55. Right after we had a flood here, 55 flood. And I was there 33 years.
33 years working for the schools.
Yeah, for the West Hartford School. And I've been retired 28 years, so. And but now, the only people that has a permanent job are the building operating engineer, like I was I was 23 years at one school. And they're all part-time, no benefit, no insurance, no, and I consider very lucky. You know, my every month my pension goes into our checking account, and we our medical insurance. It's with the Board of Education, which is a big break, you know. And
You have no complaints.
no complaint whatsoever. In life, I mean, everything is beautiful.
Joseph, how do you think your military experiences impacted your life after you got out? Do you think it had much impact in what you did after you got out? Or?
No, Korean veterans, we got laughed at. And, it wasn't a war, it was, and even though I'm a life member with the DAV, Disabled American Veteran, you very seldom hear anything about the Korean War. You know, I get the magazine every 2 months. It's always about Nam. And to me, or you talk with people that were in Nam, it's no different than Korea. It was the same political thing, you know. But
It's a different parallel.
and
It's a different parallel line.
yeah, and
27th parallel.
yeah, and but you very seldom see anything about the Korean War veteran, even in the news, the newspaper, and this is why me in Washington, that kind of hit me personally when you saw these guys with poncho, in the rain and have punched, and that really touch me, It's because the number one, I don't brought up. I don't believe in violence, and this sometimes it's a lot better to walk away, be called a coward, than end up in jail or killing somebody. But we each have our priority, I would say, you know.
Well, Joseph, is there anything that we've left out that you would like to discuss here before we end our interview?
No, I don't think so. Because the other interview was at the food pantry. We really enjoy this. I don't do much anymore because I don't feel I'm old, but I'm worn out. I used to be very active there, but I still help if I can. Rose is very active there, and it's nice. It gives you something to give back. Like at Thanksgiving, we give bags of food, and Christmas and Easter. And so my daughter has a lot of the, I'm a official blue nose because I crossed the Arctic Circle. Got a big thing. Diane, our daughter, has that. She lives in Maine. And she has other certificates that I got from the state of Maine, I used to live in Maine. And I just missed World War II. Us being born in Canada, but American citizen, we had the choice in World War II either go to the Canadian Army or the American Army. My oldest brother went into the Canadian Army, and their benefits are much, much better than ours, as a veteran. Yeah. He passed away in 1999, but I got some certificate from Maine. Our daughter has it, it's framed and, being thanked because I served the country and for the state of Maine. And I came to Connecticut in '48 because got tired of working in lumber camps, and been here since.
Well, Joseph, I want to thank you for your service, and I want to thank you for allowing us to conduct this interview.
You're very welcome. It has been a pleasure. I hope I answered
You did.
as
Yep, perfectly fine.
as able as I could, And